Have you ever been in a situation where your very identity became a barrier? Picture this: you're at 36,000 feet in the air, and you catch a glimpse of the cabin crew. Their faces are a mix of disbelief and derision, completely underestimating you. That's exactly where I found myself one fateful afternoon, surrounded by doubt and turbulence, both in the skies and within the hearts of those around me. Let me set the stage. Just a regular day or so, I thought. I was flying not for work, but as a personal indulgence. I mean, who doesn't love the rush of soaring through the clouds? But this time I wasn't just a passenger. This time I was a licensed pilot, someone who'd flown F-35s, yes, real military jets, but apparently that didn't matter to the flight crew. When I approached them about my background, hoping for a professional connection, Captain Morris chuckled dismissively. "You a pilot? I didn't know they were hiring diversity hires." I remember standing there, my heart sank. I could have let that joke slide, just laugh it off, but the whole thing felt like a punch to the gut. It wasn't just the mocking tone, it was the implication that someone like me couldn't possibly belong in a cockpit. It was a reminder of the bias I had always fought against, being judged before even having the chance to prove myself. Now picture the scene shifting. Just moments later, the plane hit a patch of turbulence no one saw coming. Drinks flew off trays and screams echoed through the cabin. People had lost all sense of calm, and honestly, I could feel my own heart racing. But instead of succumbing to the chaos, I shifted gears. In that moment, I knew I had to act. Without even thinking about it, I approached a nearby flight attendant and made a bold request: I need to get to the cockpit. She hesitated. I could see the fear in her eyes, but then panic overtook her logic. I made my way to the cockpit, pushing the door open with not just determination, but a sense of duty. What awaited me: Captain Morris had slumped forward, seemingly incapacitated, while the co-pilot was visibly shaking hands, frozen on the controls. In that instant, what did I feel? Fear. Yes, but more than that, a resolve, a fierce reminder of who I was. "Step aside," I said, asserting my authority. "I'm flying this plane." It was a surreal moment. I can still vividly recall the looks on their faces, a mix of relief and disbelief. I had stepped into the role I knew I could own. I quickly put on my headset and contacted air traffic control. "This is Air 882, declaring an emergency. We're in trouble and I need assistance." There was a long silence on the line, a pause that felt like it stretched out for an eternity. I could almost hear the disbelief on the other end, but I didn't waver. I told them about our location, about the old decommissioned strip just a few miles away. My heart pounded as I mentally mapped out the landing plans. Now came the hardest part: actually flying the plane in what felt like the worst kind of chaos. I remember the adrenaline surging through my veins. Navigating through the panic, I scanned instruments, spoke calmly, and guided the aircraft. Each second felt like a mini eternity as I positioned the plane for landing. And then came the moment of reckoning: the landing itself. The wheels hit the ground harder than I intended, but somehow, against all odds and with racing thoughts, I managed to come to a halt just in time. Relief flooded my body, the weight of what felt like an impossible burden lifted. But the true challenge wasn't over yet. As the co-pilot regained some composure, those initial incredulous looks shifted. And then there was Captain Morris. Once incapacitated, he was slowly regaining consciousness. I didn't hold back. Stepping closer, I challenged him directly. "So, about those diversity hires?" His silence said it all. It was a moment of reckoning for him, for me, and somehow reflecting a much larger conversation about who we allow to take control. I didn't need to shout or berate him. The silence that enveloped us spoke volumes, signaling a shift in perspective, perhaps a flicker of respect. Fast forward 6 months, I was speaking at an aviation summit, recounting that incredible day. Ironically, instead of frustration, I felt compassion for those who underestimated me. I had gone from being dismissed to leading a team empowering young women of color to claim their rightful space in aviation. I reflected on how perspective often prevents us from seeing potential, and here I was, living testimony to the importance of breaking those boundaries. When I look back, sometimes I'm filled with a mixture of gratitude and pity, not just for those pilots who doubted me, but for those who are stuck in that limited mindset, believing in only what they can see. It's a reminder for all of us to challenge bias when we see it, to not judge solely based on appearances. So I want to ask you, what have you faced that felt unfair? Have you ever been underestimated? Maybe you've witnessed someone else rise against the odds, defy expectation, and change the narrative. Share your stories in the comments. Let's keep this conversation going. We've all got experiences that can challenge the status quo, and by sharing, we can empower one another. Who knows, your story could inspire the next pilot in the cockpit. As always, remember, the skies are wide enough for all of us.